So we're going to get started today. This video is going to be recorded, so if we'd like us to send you out a link, we'll be more than happy to do that. I know some folks still might be coming in. I see there's a couple more. Madeline, welcome to the webinar. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Brian Bachpalupo, VP at Real Green of our sales, and I've been near the green industry for roughly over about 35 years. Obviously, you could tell I started when I was about 5 years old in the green industry and look forward to continuing it for many more years. Today, we are presenting and introducing Coalmarch as our digital marketing company and their founder, Mr. Donnie Shelton. Donnie is the pilot in command of Coalmarch. He's an innovator with proven track record for assisting companies in the pest and lawn care industries. After building Triangle Pest from the ground up into a multi-million-dollar operation, Donnie turned his sights on assisting other companies in our home services industries with companies to really boost their digital marketing presence, and also bring strategies with a strong track and data management processes. So, Donnie, welcome to our quick webinar today. We're going to do a conversation. We really invite everybody to ask questions and let us answer everything we can. So, Donnie, I'm going to just ask you real quick. Did you fly into the webinar this evening?
No, goodness gracious. Yeah. You actually make me sound like I'm so much smarter than I really am. I think if anyone's paying attention, they'll just realize that I'm pretty good at getting people that are smarter than me around me. So, but no, I thank you for bringing me on. I'm always glad to speak with our customers and with Real Green customers. We are very grateful for the opportunity we have to partner with Real Green, and we're super excited about the opportunity to grow their customers. And so, yeah, let's dig right in, man. Where do we want to start?
Excellent. The biggest reason we decided to do this webinar, we wanted to. I know you've all been getting emails, and there's been conversations coming out and about Real Green, Coalmarch, and how this whole process is going to work. And that's what Donnie and I really wanted to come out, do a webinar for our customers, and just to maybe answer anything we can. So, Donnie, one thing I wanted to ask you is, tell us about Coalmarch a little bit and your digital services.
Yeah, so Coalmarch, when I first got Coalmarch, a little background, and then I promise I'll bring it back around. We had that company. They had a ton of talent, and they still do have a ton of talent. The company is based in Raleigh, North Carolina. We have 3 universities here who constantly, kind of generating out brand new college grads, and it's kind of a technology area here in Raleigh. We have the Research Triangle Park. We've got the universities, and so tech is pretty big here. I think we're second only to Austin, and then Silicon Valley obviously is everyone's kind of taking a mass exodus out of there. But
yeah.
When we first jumped in with Coalmarch, we had some really big clients, right? We had RCA Records, we had Duke University, we had some pretty big box names with a ton of talent, but not a whole lot of focus. And my background, I'm sure most folks already know. I am an operator first and foremost. I've built a pest control company. I'm in the process of building a lawn care company right now. We have Triangle Pest Control. We have Triangle Lawn Care. And so I understand what it takes. And I have built both companies online. And so I don't want to make it sound like I'm all knowing with digital, but that's how I've built the businesses. I've done it kind of a non-traditional way. And one of the difficult challenges that I had as an owner when I was building both companies was that I was consistently working myself out of a job, but marketing was the very last thing I would let go because it was our growth engine. And so what would happen was I would hire a company. They would kind of understand pests, they would kind of understand lawn, and then we'd kind of go down a road, and within 6 months to 8 months I'd realize, like, oh my gosh, they don't understand our business. They're not able to get results. I've got to take this back over. And so I did this like 5 times, right? The first time I'm like, oh, that wasn't the right agency. Let me go to another one. And then I go to another one and have the same thing happen. And typically what I would see is that, a lot of these companies were so busy or they were so disorganized as a business. I'm like, there's no way this is going to work. And so the idea came up, well, all my buddies are having the same exact problem, right? They can't find a great partner that truly understands field service at the level that we understand it and can execute a strategy that really does this B2C and in some cases B2B funnel that we truly need in order to grow our businesses at the scale that most folks want to grow at. And so that's what I did. Went in and purchased Coalmarch, and I fired all these big box customers. And I mean, it was the strangest thing. People are like, "What are you doing?" Because these were big customers, and the goal was like, okay, we're going to get very, very focused on the pest and lawn industries, and we're going to build a platform that is very dialed in just to those two industries. And that's what we've done. And since that's happened, the model has worked quite well. The great thing about Coalmarch, I think, is that we do have a broad spectrum of customers. We've got customers who are, I would say, on the low end of revenue, less than 500,000, and we've got some customers that are greater than 60 million, depending on where they're at. And so point being is that now Coalmarch, we're very, very focused on kind of these two niche industries. And my experience in operating a company helps drive that. And with the Triangle brands, both the Triangle Pest and Triangle Lawn, we're able to test a lot of ideas. We're able to innovate, I think, and we're really able to get to the level of detail and the level of focus that is required in order to execute a very good digital strategy. Because there's no doubt in my mind, you can waste a lot of money online these days if you don't know what you're doing. And you can also, with an unfocused strategy, your marketing will work online, but it will not be at the level that a lot of folks need. I mean, I know at Triangle, our target is 15,000 leads a year, and that's a big number to hit. In the Raleigh and Charlotte markets, this is where we operate now, and it's just we can go to the level that no one else can, and you don't have to sit down and explain what the lawn care season is, what a round is, right? How the pest control industry works. I mean, everyone that's there is completely dialed into these industries. They know how it works, and they understand, they obviously don't operate a company, but if you sit down and talk to them about seasonality, you sit down and talk to them about, what's going on at this time of the season, they're already going to know that. And so now you can focus on how do we attack it? How do we go out and get what we need to get? You're not spending time on explaining like, well, we can't really say our chemicals are safe, right? I can't do, just kind of the basic things that end up wasting a lot of time. So I think that's really what makes us unique. Our platform is dialed in specifically for those industries. And I'll talk more about the platform a little bit later. But it is absolutely working. We pride ourselves. We have the lowest attrition rate in the industry. And we've been growing like gangbusters. So I know what we're doing is absolutely working for our clients.
Yeah. And I guess let's get to the platforms. If I'm a Real Green customer right now, why would I go to Coalmarch? What would drive me over to Coalmarch right now?
Yeah, I think, the main thing that, well, first and foremost, I think a real big driver, we announced it. I know Bill had announced it at the users conference.
Yep.
We're going to be launching July 1, which it actually, I know this is going to happen because it's in beta. It's currently being used, but we have an integration now with Real Green, and that's something I've wanted for years. And folks who know me and know kind of my first relationship with Real Green, that has been the goal for years. It's been like my dream. And so, we now actually have a nice integration. And so what we're going to be able to provide, for a Real Green client is truly a clear picture of this is the dollars that I'm spending, and here are the customers that's generating, and be able to tell them, because before with any traditional marketing, you may be able to tell someone, hey, this is where you're spending your money. This is how many phone calls you've gotten. This is how many contacts you've gotten. But getting into what those phone calls and contacts are they current customers? Are they current customers looking for leads? Are they new customers? That's been very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult. Now we have a solution on our platform that is completely integrated with Real Green that allows that to be completely automated. And so it's literally going to be, from our dashboards, a true cost per lead, a true cost per sell, and it's going to map right back into your database. And when we get that contact, we can take it all the way from the click to a customer that sits inside of Real Green. And so, one of the, so to answer your question, I told you I'd bring it back around, Brian, is number one is that
Yeah.
we're going to have, with this integration, we're going to have tracking that has never been available before between your phone. Like, you literally will not be able to contact your business, either via phone call, text, form submission, doesn't matter, without it getting tagged back and attributed to the right set of marketing data and marketing spend. But the second thing is that, our platform is very mature. It has a proven track record. Most of our clients, that once they start with us, we more than double their leads. Now, I can't promise that, of course, depending on, we have some customers who are very sophisticated and they're doing extremely well on digital. Can we make it better? Yeah. We have some folks who are okay and mediocre, and we completely transform their business with the amount of leads that we're able to bring in. And so I would say the biggest draw is really two things. The first one is that this integration that we're doing with Real Green. And then number two is like the proven platform, knowing that you're aligning with a business that completely understands your business and understands the business of digital marketing. We operate only in pest space. We operate only in the lawn space. And, again, we have a proven track record that shows that when people jump on, absolutely. My goal as the CEO is, you give me $1, I'm going to give you back 3. That's my goal. Yep. And we're able to do that. So
makes complete sense. I know that you can look at a company, and all companies have certain issues. There's a problem. What is the main problem you generally will solve for a company when it comes to their digital space?
Oh, this is a big one. I think the biggest problem that we solve, typically the typical client that comes to Coalmarch usually has, I would say, really one frustration that just comes out in multiple ways. The biggest frustration that they have is growth, right? Mm-hmm. They want to grow faster, but the issues come out, however they come out. In some cases, it's they have zero visibility, and the reality of it is that when you have zero visibility, what you do, what you don't do, it doesn't really matter, because you don't know anyway, right? I mean, you're moving the needle over here, you're changing this lever. Well, if you don't, did that work? Who knows? I don't know, right? And likewise, there can be things that you're doing that's actually hurting you, and you have no clue. And so I would say number one problem that we solve when clients come to us is that we get the leads back in the door. We get the sales engine back up and running. We get everything moving, and we get you full of leads. But it doesn't stop there. We have a dashboard, when we're able to kind of hook everything in, that you really can see and gain a ton of visibility as to, hey, we're not only going to grow your business, we're not only going to get you a lot of leads, a lot of sales, we're going to help you be very efficient at that. My companies, I grew them with the money out of my back pocket, right? I didn't have a larger company saying, hey, Donnie, here's $100,000. Hey, here's $500,000. Go grow this business. I never had that. And so what that means is that I had to build the business on what it produced. And so it absolutely had to produce. And so, when we're able to do this, not only we're able to get the leads back in, get the sales going again, and gain all the visibility, now we can also be very proactive and look at where you want to go. We have some clients who are like, hey, Donnie, blow the doors off, make me say uncle, and we go. And that's what we do. Right? And they spend a ton of it. We have other clients who are like, hey, look, I like about the 10%, 15% growth. And then we're able to look at their previous performance. We're able to look at the market, what's going on in their local market, and we're able to devise a strategy to help them. And so we get very much aligned with the owner, the manager, the CEO, whoever's around the business, and we're able to help them achieve their growth goals. Now, again, the problems, at the end of the day, they can come to me with 6 different problems, but I promise you, usually I can bring it all the way down to back to the core thing is growth, right? They're wanting to grow.
Right. And that is the core. The company does have to want to grow. I'm going to ask you a question, Donnie, in regards to transition. What should a company actually expect when they transition from a Real Green platform digital over to Coalmarch? What should they expect?
Well, the first thing is, we have a very great relationship with Real Green. We have a very great relationship with the Real Green team. And we have spent, and Brian, I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but we've spent a lot of time talking through what the customer experience should be like and what we strive for. And I think we've done a pretty good job of mapping that out. But if I'm a
We have.
customer and I'm with Real Green, I'm like, okay, I know, I need to move over to the Coalmarch platform. What's going to happen is that, Shannon or someone on that team, on the sales team, is going to reach out. There's going to be a conversation about, really trying to find what makes sense for you on the Coalmarch platform. Our packages are very similar, but we also have many more options that were not available with Real Green Digital Marketing. And so, now it's almost like you're going from one menu to the next. And so there's really this conversation about kind of like, okay, where are we at and where you want to go? And now what makes sense? So that's kind of the step one, is like, let's get everyone on the same page and let's look at, see, because, just as I do, Brian, this year the focus may be this, well, the next year the focus may be that. And so it's really just kind of everyone reacting and understanding like, hey, this is where we want to go. So from that, we kind of pick, okay, here's the package that I'm looking for. At that point, then we kind of set a launch date. There's a new website that gets put in as part of this. It's all included in with your pricing. It's not like there's going to be some sort of big upfront website fee that you got to pay to get a new website redone. But the beautiful thing about going onto our platform is that this thing, it is proven in data. And what I mean by that is that, the placement of buttons, the color of a specific scheme, these things have all been proven out with data, right? So we know these sites work. And so what's going to happen is at that point, once we kind of get on the same page of like, look, this is what I want to do, then you'll go from Shannon or Mark or someone on our team over to what's called an account manager. Your billing is going to be all seamless. The only thing you're going to see is just a change on your credit card, and everything that you currently have is going to stay in place while we go out and we build while we build your new site on our platform. Typically that process will take 2 months, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit less, depending on a few things. One, obviously, if we're super, super busy and we've got a lot of folks in the pipeline, then it's a little bit longer. How sophisticated the website is. If it's something pretty simple, sometimes it can be a little bit less. If it's something pretty sophisticated, sometimes it can be more. All your content, all your resources, everything that you currently have, whatever you want, absolutely will come over. That's all part of the process. If you don't want it to come over, we can talk about that as well. But someone's going to sit down with you and kind of walk through, hey, this is where you're at. Here's what's going to happen when you get on the platform, and here's what makes sense. And in some cases, it may not make sense to port all the content over. Right now, I'm sure you're probably aware of this, but Google's actually penalizing websites that have a ton of content that's not very, that doesn't have a ton of traffic. And that's a problem, because in the past, it was absolutely the opposite, right? It was get as much content used as you possibly can out onto the web, and Google liked that. Well, that thought process has now changed. And so what we're actually doing is we're actually thinning some of the sites out. And what Google cares about now, the pages that you have, are they getting any traffic? And if they are, then that's good. If you have a ton of pages with zero traffic, that's not a very good site in their brain. So point being is that we talk about all of that. The process should be fairly seamless. And then at that point, depending on, who you work, you will transition to an account manager. And then, there's a frequency that you normally meet with, either monthly, sometimes, every other week, depending on what kind of package you select. And truly from there, we develop out what's your strategy going to be for the next year. And then after that, it's kind of like execution and monitoring and adjusting. That really is what we do going forward from there. So it should be a fairly seamless process. And I think, once someone sits down and talks with Shannon or, Mark or Alex or someone on our team, they're going to see like how beneficial this is truly going to be for their business.
Yeah. And I want to stress that too, the seamlessness, because I know yourself and myself, we've been in a ton of meetings. We want to make this a great customer experience for everybody, and you mentioned the content. And yes, we can take your content, if it's relevant, and move it to a new site. So when you built your original site, there may have, you're sitting in meetings, and sometimes it's painful to do that. We're trying to make this as easy as possible to go from one to the other, because we are partners in this to make this, to make any of our companies successful. That's what we want, is to make everybody successful. I was going to ask you about the transition timeline, and for some of these sites, everybody, it's going to take 2 months to 3 months, and really a lot depends on yourselves too as well, on how responsive you are with the reps, and they do have an account manager that's going to be meeting with you frequently to really smooth this process out with your new site. And I want to mention too, and I'll just interject on this, your current site that you currently have with Real Green, we're going to keep that up and running until we have the Coalmarch site up and running too as well. So we want to keep that running. We want to keep that working. You're not going to lose space on that in any way, shape, or form. Now, at Real Green, we have so many different types of customers that we have with digital. We have some that are contracted with some of our bundles. We have some that are month to month right now. And we have some that own their sites and some that don't own their sites. So, definitely talk to your account reps. Some of these, we are going to be ending as of October 1st, servicing those sites. Real Green is just trying to get out of the digital. That's why we partnered up with Coalmarch. That's why we brought them on board, so they can focus on that. We're going to focus on the integration with our software, do what we do best. They're going to do what they do best and make a great partnership out of this. And that's what I really wanted to stress to anybody that's on this call, anybody that's watching this link, that this is how it's going to work. But October 1st is a magic date for customers that are month to month right now, or if you're within 60 days of your annual contract date as well. So Shannon will be reaching out to everybody, all of our customers that do provide digital service as well. And so please accept her call. It's very important that we do talk to you, so we can definitely talk strategies on how to move everything forward. Donnie, I'm going to leave it up to you and anything you want to close with. And if anybody has any questions, please give them to us so we can answer for them to you as well.
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit more to what you just said there, just for folks who are on the call and folks who maybe watch it when it's a little bit later on. So I really want to back up for a moment and let's just all look at the big picture here. So in terms of Real Green digital marketing, at some point all clients will transition, right? That will happen. Much like what Brian just said, the clients who are, either month to month or whatever, there's this October date. Well, what happens in the fall? Let's see, Pest World. Everyone does all their retooling, right? It's the winter time is when it all happens. And so I just want to iterate to folks in this call, if you're listening and obviously, this is coming down the sooner the better, right? Because at the end of the day, I promise you this will be a positive for your business. And if it's not, I will give you my cell phone number and I will make sure personally that it is. Your business is going to grow and your leads are going to get higher and you're going to be a better company as a result of this transition, because this is all we do. We don't do software. We don't do direct mail. All we focus on is getting leads and doing it in a way that benefits our customers. That's why we have the highest retention rate. Once folks get on the platform, they know that we're going to take care of them and they know it works. And so don't delay. And I mean that, right? Because when we get into the fall, what's going to happen is I already see it coming, right? We've got the October date, so there's going to be a ton of folks coming over then. We're going to have Pest World. We're going to have, the Real Green Users Conference, and we're trying to staff up for that and make sure that we got it. But that timeline I'm getting a site out is going to continue to grow. And so the sooner, if you're thinking about this, the conversation really needs to start now, just so that we can make sure that, hey, maybe we can get you in on the front of that, so you don't need to get in, this big long line. And again, we're doing our best to make sure of it. What I'm not going to do is make promises, hey, we can get this done in a couple of months, and we overwhelm our team, and then this customer experience that I really care about kind of goes to crap. So I'm not going to do that. So to close that out, it's a great point that you make there, Brian. I just want to reiterate to everyone that, hey, if this is something that's on your radar, sooner is probably better than later. I'm not saying you got to move your site today, but what I am saying is that we do need to start the conversation, because
start the conversation.
Yeah, the quicker we can get in front of that, the better. And the more likely it's going to be that it's going to be a knockout for your business. So
I see Madeline Godwin. Madeline, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Mine's Botchgalupo. That gets bundled up a few times. So she made a statement here that she needs growth. And I'm looking forward to this transition with Coalmarch. And can I contact Shannon tomorrow? So Madeline, absolutely, you can contact Shannon. I guarantee she'll probably be contacting you.
Yeah. No, and believe me, we are completely aligned with our customers. And I think, once you spend some time with our account managers, you will absolutely see You know, I have everything set up in our business such that we are absolutely on the same side of our table with our clients. And as they grow, my team grows, their incentives grow. Everything is lined up such that, you know, we're all sitting on the same. And so I can't wait and would love to have a discussion and help you do that for sure.
Any other questions that we can answer for anybody? If you just want to type them in, I don't see any in here at this point. I'll give it a few seconds. There's a chat box at the bottom also, everybody. It's right under the chat if you just type something in there.
Let me do this too. If for whatever reason you can't figure that out or whatever, let me just give you my cell number and you can reach out to me directly. My cell is 919-210-1889. Again, 919-210-1889. And if you have questions or you had a question you wasn't able to figure it out, whatever, feel free to call me. Tonight I'll probably be with the kids for a remainder of the night, but anytime during business hours, whatever, that's fine. If it's not business hours, I promise I'll call you back when I can. But you know, if there's any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to do that.
And just a reminder, this recording will be shared after the broadcast as well. And if you need to reach out to anybody, please do. Shannon's email address is Spangler, SPANGLER @realgreen.com as well. So if you need to get a hold of Shannon, it is Spangler @realgreen.com. So please feel free to reach out to her too as well with any questions that you might have. So, well, everybody, thanks for spending the evening with us for a bit with a little chat between Brian Boccialupo and Donnie Shelton. It was fun, Donnie, having you on here, and look forward to doing it again and doing more of these in the near future. So everybody have a great and safe evening tonight, and we will talk to you soon.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you now.